Welcome back to another episode of the Spirit of Spaces podcast. I am so happy that you are joining me once again to receive your Feng Shui fairy godmother with her nuggets of wisdom and all of the magic that comes with connecting to the spirit of your space. Today, I really want to break down a little bit about what Feng Shui is, where to begin with Feng Shui. Call it Feng Shui for beginners if you like, but without the overwhelm. I dived quite deeply into Feng Shui and where it originates from last episode. So if you want to go back to that episode and have a listen, I broke down where Feng Shui began, what I think actually began before Feng Shui even existed, and how Feng Shui is really bringing the unseen realm, the heavens, into matter, onto our planet, into Earth, and into your homes and spaces. And when most people hear the words Feng Shui, they've maybe heard of it, maybe they've seen it around, they've maybe heard it mentioned, and you're probably picturing lucky bamboos and money frogs and crystals in your wealth corner, or maybe moving a piece of your furniture. But as I shared in episode 2, classical feng shui is so much more than just decorating your home. It's more than interior design, it's more than a color scheme, and it's more than moving your furniture. It really is an ancient art of understanding how the energy of a place influences the people who live, work, and love and dream and create memories within it. So, for you, if this is about your home, which is where you spend 80% of your time, then it's super important that you actually start to connect with the energy of your space and you start to really feel on a deeper and more intuitive level what is going on in your space that might be then affecting your life, and vice versa, what might be going on in your life that is affecting your space. It's less about controlling the energy in feng shui, but it's more about learning to listen to it, to tune into it, and then use the energetic principles of feng shui, especially if you end up having a flying star chart done for your home or your workspace, which looks specifically at your energetic blueprint based on the directions of your house, based on the year that your house was birthed. I like to call it the birth chart for your house. So the year your house was constructed and the period time that we are in feng shui. Because in feng shui, we work with 20-year period cycles. So the year that your house was constructed in will fall into one of those period cycles. And that also is part of the calculations that I make when I'm writing your Flying Stars report to see where the energy is stuck, where it needs to move, where there's unfavorable energy, and where there is favorable energy that we want to enhance. So it's really about starting to tune in and listen. It's not about interior design and having the most beautiful aesthetics, although, of course, we want to create our home as living temples. We want them to be sacred sanctuaries. The home that you live in is an extension of you. And so, if you want to have beautiful interior design, by all means, I am here for it. I love beautiful interior decor. I am so here for that. But that's not really what feng shui is about. It was never created to make homes look beautiful. It was created to help people live in harmony with nature, with the land, with chi, connecting those elementals, those unseen, and bringing it down to earth. Chi, land, heaven, humans, nature, home, everything is connected. Everything is in symbiosis. And we've been so deeply disconnected from that over the years, where we've moved into these separate homes made of man made materials, away from the connection to nature, away from living in harmony with the stars, using that to navigate, away from using compasses to navigate. Now we all just have sat navs and things built into our phones and our cars. So we're relying less on really feeling the land, really feeling how the nature around us actually supports us and guides us to build surroundings that work in symbiosis with our human nature. We've been so separated from that. And I'm here to help you connect back to that, help you connect back to the spirit of your space. And one of the ways I do that is through feng shui. It's not about trying to fix your house. This is a huge mindset shift. So, encouraging you to ask instead of what's wrong with my home? What's wrong with my space? Because you wouldn't necessarily do that about yourself. You wouldn't say, what's wrong with me? Why am I not succeeding here? Why am I failing there? Rather than coming at it from a negative perspective, you could ask, well, what is my home trying to teach me? What are the spirits of my space trying to teach me? What is the energy in my space trying to teach me? It's the same when you have an issue in your body. If you are getting headaches a lot, ask, what are these headaches trying to teach me? There's always a root cause. It's never a surface level thing. And I don't work surface level, I work really deeply. And it's never a surface level thing. It's always something that's underneath as a root cause. So asking that question of, well, what is my home trying to teach me? What is my body trying to teach me? Because your body and your home, they're the environments you live in. This is your living temple, your body temple, and then your surrounding of your living temple of your home. Both of them are this living, breathing, moving entity where energy is constantly moving or getting stuck, and it carries emotions and it carries stories and it carries memories. And this question of asking, okay, well, instead of saying what's wrong with me, what is it trying to teach me? Here we start to go a little bit deeper. And this is where we start to connect our environment, our home, and our spaces with our bodies, with ourselves. So in Feng Shui, the first place I always begin is not the wealth corner, like everybody online will talk to you about. It's not about 3 tips on how to. It's not about going to spend loads of money buying cures. It's not about changing everything. Instead, the first place I would always start is with awareness. So once you finish listening to this episode, I really encourage you to walk through your home slowly, or perhaps you even want to do that as I'm talking to you now. Take a deep breath. We'll do it together. And then just start at your front door and start to walk through your home slowly. And start to tune in to these questions. Where do you feel the most calm in your home? Which room in your home gives you that sense of peace, of calmness? Where do you want to rush through? Where is the energy feeling a bit rushy or quick, or you don't want to spend too long in that space? Which room or corner of a room or area of a house do you avoid? Why are you avoiding it? What's there for you? What's it trying to teach you? Which room do you feel truly holds you? Which room do you truly feel nurtures you, carries you, is a sanctuary for you? Why? What is the energy in that space? What keeps breaking? Do you often have leaks in your home? Do you often have crockery that breaks? Are you experiencing loss in certain parts of your home? What is that reflecting to you about your life? Where does clutter accumulate in your home? Is there that corner that you just like, oh, I can't possibly even begin there. There's just a pile of paper and it's piling up on my desk? Or is it on the kitchen counter, on the dining room table? Is there that one drawer that you know you need to deal with, but you just, oh, it just feels like such a mountain to go there? Start to tune into why. Why have you shoved it all in a drawer? Why have you left it on the dining room table? Why is that clutter accumulating? What are you avoiding? And by asking these questions, you can start to see that your home is already communicating to you. And this is where you start to build that relationship with your space. Because Feng Shui, for me, it's about rebuilding that relationship, that trust with the spirit of your space, with the energy of your space, the way that you build a relationship with your body so that you know, oh, if I'm experiencing headaches at a certain time all the time, what's happening before that that's causing me to feel that way? Is it a particular stressful situation that's triggering that? Is it that I'm not nourishing my body enough? I'm not hydrating myself enough? Is it that I'm having a difficult conversation with somebody and then I get a headache? What is it? There's always a root cause behind it. And it's the same in your home. And this is how we start to build trust with the spirits of your home. This is how you start to build trust with the energy in your space. And this is how you start to understand how feng shui actually starts to work within your home or your space. The next area that I would really start to connect with is the entrance of your home, the front entrance of your home. It's known as the mouth of chi. And this is where your opportunities enter. And so if you start to walk through the entrance of your home and there's coats and there's shoes and there's baggage and there's bits and bobs everywhere, and maybe your plant's not fully alive, start to ask yourself, well, would abundance feel welcome here? Would a guest feel welcome here? Would a spirit feel welcome here? And do I feel welcome here? When I've held Radiance Reset journeys for clients and we've done a psychic journey through their home where I remote view the energy in their home and I remote view their spaces, we'll always start at the front door. And for some people, they'll instantly say, oh, yeah, the energy feels great at the front door. Yeah, it feels really welcoming, feels really good. And as soon as we step in the lounge or the hallway, then it starts to get crunchy and a little bit dense and dark. And for other people, as soon as I have them stand outside their front door, immediately they feel some sort of dense energy. And it could be from a whole number of things. For one woman, it was a certain coat that was hanging in her hallway, in her front, in her porch. And in fact, I tuned into the energy psychically. I could feel that there was something in that space, and I kept asking her, like, "Is there something hanging in your space?" And she said, "Yeah, there's two coats, and I hate wearing coats. I find coats really restricting. I don't like wearing them." So I was tuning in, like, well, what is this coat doing in your hallway if you don't like wearing them? And she said, "Oh, it belongs to my mother." Okay, so she inherited these coats from her mother who'd passed away, and they were carrying the energy of her mother. And she already doesn't like wearing coats. She said they feel restrictive on her body. So we dove in. Okay, where did you feel restricted around your mum? And she's carrying that energy and it's in your front entrance. And I asked her, do you really need to hold on to those coats, or is it time to say thank you so much for teaching you that lesson and it's time to let it go? And she said, yeah, it's time. It's time to let it go. I will give those coats away to the charity shop. And it's those moments of intention and awareness that start to connect you to the spirit and the energy of your space. And then you can start to realize, well, hey, maybe I've been blocking my entrance for this woman in particular with this feeling of resistance around wearing a coat, or she was experiencing resistance in her life. She came to a workshop of mine as well, and she was experiencing resistance to moving in her body. It was the same feeling, like she felt so stuck in her body, like she was wearing that coat, the coat of her mother, where there was a resistance in the relationship. And now that coat was in her front entrance. So as soon as you remove that and you give it away with love and you say thank you to that object for being there, to that spirit for being there, you can open up a whole new portal of opportunity. A whole new portal of opportunity. I worked with another client whose front entrance felt really dense. And it was because the woman who had lived there before her was an alcoholic, and we could feel the energy of that woman residue by the front entrance. Remember, your homes, your spaces, they hold memory. Land holds memory of events that took place before, people who lived there before, things that happened, conflicts, wars, arguments, deaths, but also beautiful things like births and celebrations and birthdays and love and happiness and joyous occasions too. And your space retains that. You may not see it, but you can feel it. And you may not be able to name it, but you know it's off. And this is why when I work with Feng Shui and energy space clearing, I can actually tap into those energies and help you to clear that so that it becomes lighter and more welcoming and more available to you. And you can start to call in those opportunities. So start with the entrance of your home. Just close your eyes and tune into that space and just start to feel where it might feel a little bit dense, where it might feel a little bit heavy, or where it feels very welcoming and opening. And ask yourself, would abundance feel welcome here? Would a spirit feel welcome here? Would I welcome a guest here? I'm going to do a whole episode just on the entrance of your home. So I'm not going to give you too many more tips and ideas on how you can rearrange your front entrance, but just so that you have awareness, that is where I would start with Feng Shui. It's really about building a relationship with your home. And I'm going to invite you throughout your time with me in this podcast to really get curious about your space. I'm not your average Feng Shui practitioner. I'm not here to give you three tips on how to. I might do some episodes like that because it's fun and it's good for you to understand simple ways that you can do things. I have a whole guide for that if you want it. It's called Simple Shifts, Sacred Spaces, and I'll link it in my show notes. You're very welcome to access that guide. But I'm here to take you a little bit deeper, to really build that relationship with your home and start to ask those deeper questions. So I really invite you to find your favorite space in your home, open a window, light a candle, preferably a non-tox one. We don't want all the toxins in the house because we want to keep the environment clean and purified. Light your non-tox candle, sit quietly and place a hand on your wall and ask, what would you like me to know? You might think this sounds a bit woo-woo and crazy, but trust me, when you start to build a relationship with your home and you start to connect and you start to listen to the spirits, especially at the entrance, as I said, the mouth of chi, where the opportunities enter, are you blocking them or are you letting them through into your living temple? Because imagine if you're blocking the energy there, that's affecting the rest of the energy in your home. So, feng shui is not about creating the perfect home. It's about creating a relationship with the place, your home that is your living temple, your living, breathing entity that you are weaving together your living temple, your body temple with the temple of your home. It's the place that shelters your dreams. It's the place that you create, you manifest, you bring that heaven to earth. Your home is not simply where your life happens. It's honestly one of the greatest teachers you'll ever have. And when you begin listening to the spirits of your space, when you're really tapped in, then your space begins responding. And this is where the real magic of feng shui begins. So I'd love for you to do that one simple thing before our next episode. Walk through your home, not to clean it, not to judge it, simply to notice it. Notice how it feels. Notice what draws you in. Notice what rooms you want to spend more time in. Notice what rooms you want to avoid, what areas you're just like, oh, I just don't want to go there. Notice what asks for your attention because the conversation with your home begins the moment that you are willing to listen. I hope that you have taken away some nuggets of wisdom from this episode. If you liked it and enjoyed it, please subscribe, leave a review. It means the world to me, and it means the podcast will reach more listeners who need to really infuse this magic of divine cosmic energy and bring that heaven to earth in their home so that you can become more rooted, more radiant, more magnetic, call in those opportunities. Be a soulfully successful modern mystic and bring this ancient wisdom lineage into the modern space, into your living temple. Until then, I am always rooting for your radiance.